Yeah, listen very carefully for next 1 hour, and it is going to be very important session and for everyone. Why we exactly go through depression and what really causes the depression. And you have seen the test now, and you might have seen the result also. Some of you may not be in a depression zone, but remember that in everybody's life, at one point of time, we go through certain period of time where we feel very low about ourselves, and we don't know how to handle that situation. And sometimes we feel like that's the end of our life, and that's where most of the people commit suicide, even though we are living in the era where highly luxurious life, but still we are going through so many mental health issues, and a lot of people are feeling anxiety and depression and feeling so much negative, and a lot of people are struggling with sleep also nowadays. And what exactly causing that problem in our lives to face this kind of situation, and what is the root cause of all this problem I'm going to talk about today. So give your next maybe 1 hour attention to me, and I will give you the clarity so that next time whenever you are going through some kind of negative phase of your life, then with the knowledge what I'm going to give, you can bounce back in your life. And this knowledge whatever I have in my mind helped me so many times to make myself easily bounce back from any difficult situations. Yeah, there is no guarantee that we don't go through any kind of negative situation. We go through, as a human beings, we go through a lot of problems in our life. But when we have the knowledge like this whatever I'm going to provide, then you can easily bounce back. There are some people will completely go into that the problem very deeply and they don't bounce back, but there are some people who immediately bounce back. What made us some people to bounce back very easily, what makes us other people to suffer a lot? So that we are going to see today. And let me share my screen, and today's topic is okay, cognitive distortions. I will tell you what exactly the cognitive distortions, very important. Mm, okay. So cognitive nothing but thoughts. Distortion means something wrong thoughts. Okay, wrong thoughts. Okay, or some errors in thoughts, that we call it as a cognitive distortions. Whenever we are doing something wrong thinking, that we call it as a cognitive distortions. And what exactly, as I said in optimism presentation, also thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are the human triangle. And the root cause for everything in our life is the thought. And if the thought itself is having some default error, then we will definitely have a very bad feeling, and actions also, behaviors also will get impacted. And what exactly the thinking errors we do? Cognitive distortion, nothing but thinking errors. And most of the time we do these kind of errors, and then we suffer a lot with our problems. And cognitive distortions means wrong thinking is the main root cause for our depression. And not only depression, there are so many other problems we go through because of single reason, cognitive distortions. That is nothing but thinking errors. What kind of errors we do while thinking? So we'll see what kind of errors are there and how they are impacting our life. Then you can easily understand these things. So before that, what exactly the errors? I just want to see this particular image where the world, okay, you are seeing the world through your eyes. The world is full of positive, negative, or neutral events will happen every time. There are different kind of events happens in the world. So it could be neutral, it could be positive, it could be negative. That you are seeing through your eyes. You are perceiving them through eyes. But whatever you are seeing, right, with your eyes, everything interpreted in your mind, everything will interpret in your mind, and then based on that you will get different thoughts. Your thoughts means you interpret the event with a series of thoughts that continually flow through your mind. This is called internal dialogue. Like kind of internal dialogue happens with your thoughts. Suppose think of that, you are waiting for the bus is not coming. That is a one event. It could be neutral event, it could be negative event, it could be positive event. But there are 10 people waiting for the bus in the bus stop for the same bus, but 10 people reactions are different. Okay, one person will highly frustrated and he will scold the bus driver, where is the bus and all. And one more person thinks that, okay, I have some free time, let me talk to my, you know, family member, or let me read something, or let me listen podcast, like that. So everybody, how they perceive depends on their internal dialogue, what happens in their mind. Okay, and based on that, whatever they talk to themselves regarding that event will change their feelings or mood. So some people, if they are highly frustrated and saying that, okay, why bus is late, then they will getting highly frustrated and they feel very angry on the system and all. But there are some people feel like, okay, let me use this chance to do something in my life, like that they will do. So like that, the event itself neither positive, neither negative or neutral. how we perceive it and process it decides how our moods and feelings would be. So that is what I want you to understand in terms of in any situation generally. Okay, so let's see then next what exactly human triangle I talked about. So this is a very important, it's a fundamental. In English, how ABCDs are. In psychology, this is the human triangle. It's a fundamental. So your thoughts will impact your feelings will impact your behavior impacts your thoughts, how it is. Suppose now one thought came to your mind, oh, it's a very interesting presentation. Okay, then automatically what you feel very happy by joining to this class. You feel very happy to join this class, and then when you are feeling happy, you get more interest to listen to this presentation. That is a behavior and action. Okay, you will be giving your full attention to listen to this class is your behavior. And when you are listening to this class very with full of attention, then what happens again, it will change your thoughts, or it could also change your feelings. Like some different thoughts came to your mind, that when you're attentively listening to, to this class, like one thought comes, oh, you are very good person, you are neatly listening to this class, like that again you feel good about yourself that for listening the class very attentively. So like that, these are all interlinked, and it's a human triangle, one affect the other. Your thoughts affect the feelings and feelings affect the behavior. So this is a human triangle. It's a basic fundamental of psychology concept. Okay, and now let's get inside the what are the errors I'm talking about. And now listen, very important. It really helpful for you to improve your communication skills. These errors, if you avoid from your life, you can improve your communication skills. You can improve your life also. The first and foremost error everybody do is all or nothing thinking. So what exactly this thinking is? Let me tell you with example. Okay, most of the errors are with the examples only. So see, now you are trying to, participate in one event. Okay, you are trying to participate in one election, suppose, and you have nominated yourself to win in that election. But what exactly happened is you tried to win the competition in that election, but you failed with some margin of votes. Then you started saying that you are a loser. Okay, you are a loser and you could not win that contest, but you have tried your best to reach to that level, but you did not win the contest. So now you did not win the contest and you started considering yourself as a loser. But generally think of, either you want to be perfect or either you don't want to do anything. This is how, like, it's a perfectionism syndrome or error, where a lot of times what people will do is, suppose we have a storytelling session, and at that time the people started speaking and I told 4 minutes you should speak, and people who are unable to speak 4 minutes, they feel themselves like I am a not good speaker and I'm not a good communicator. If they cross the 4 minutes, they feel good. But think of, between 0 to 4 minutes, 1 minute is there, 2 minutes is there, 3 minutes is there, 4 minutes is there. 4 minutes is the mile which I kept for you. But you started thinking that suppose you talked only for 2 minutes, but still you are feeling as a loser only. Okay, so between 0 to 4 there are 1 2 3 4 also there, but you are thinking, you are not considering that 2 minutes speaking is a not speaking at all. You are like that, you are thinking you want to be perfect. Either you want to be perfect, either you want to speak 4 minutes, either you don't want to speak at all. So this is the mistake which we do every time in our life, that whenever we do something for the first time, definitely we are not perfect in that. But when you are trying to be perfect, then automatically in the first time nobody will be perfect in anything. But whatever you are putting effort, suppose you are trying for the exam 0 to 100 marks there, and your aim is to get 100, but you got 97, still you feel like you are not a great person. You think that you are a very bad person. And every time aiming for perfectionism, one kind of error, thinking error, which most of the people do, it should be called as a black and white error. Black and white thinking, or all or nothing thinking, means either you want to be hero, either you want to be zero. That's it. You don't want to be in between. But lot of times you can be also in between. So this is what I want you to tell. When you are trying for the best and when you are giving your best, then you can excel yourself and to reach to the optimum level. But every time when you're trying to be the perfect, then procrastination comes into the picture, because definitely you don't want to take the action. And every time people says that, generally they speak little bit English, they say that, sir, I don't know anything in English. This is this error. Okay, generally they have some English in their mind and they can speak 1 2 sentences, but they will tell that, sir, I don't know anything. I surprise sometimes. How can you be without knowing anything in English? Every day you are using minimum 10 15 English words, basic words, and they says that they don't know anything. That means they want to be completely perfect in English speaking, then only they will think that they are great. And if they know little bit English and all, they consider that they don't know anything. So this is the one of the biggest mistakes so many people do, especially I've seen in terms of communication skills. Every time whenever I talk to the new members, they say, sir, I don't know anything, will you teach me? Whenever I ask the questions in English, they answer to me back in English only, but still they tell that they don't know anything. And I don't believe in that sentences because that's not true. You know something because you have studied something. Graduation means somewhere you have written 2 3 lines in English. How can you say that you don't know anything in English? If I ask you to write the German, then you don't know absolutely any single line, then you can use this sentence, I don't know anything. But in when it comes to English, this is the most of the people do this mistake, error, all or nothing thinking. So be careful. If you are trying, okay, 0 to 100, 0 1 2 3, like that, a lot of things will be there. You can move from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, like that, at a time, one at a time, one at a time. You can reach to 99, 100. But 100 is the perfect, and perfectionism doesn't exist. Excellence exists. If you are every time putting efforts, then you will become 1% better at a time, 1% better at a time. Okay, 1% better at a time. So this is the one error most of the people do. So if you are doing this error, then avoid it. What exactly causes means when you are constantly aiming for perfectionism. As I said, perfectionism nothing but when you are in the winter summer season, when you are seeing very far shadow, you feel like it's a water there. Okay, whenever you see the in the summer, when you see the very long shadow, like long distance shadow, you feel like there is a water. And when you go there, you will feel like there is no water at all, it's a shadow, like that. In the same way, when you are chasing the perfectionism, the same thing happens. Perfectionism doesn't exist. And every time, don't use this I want to speak perfect English, I want to speak better English, simple. Okay, don't use perfect, perfect, perfect word in any case. Perfect doesn't exist. Okay, nobody can be perfect in anything. Okay, so this is one error most of the people do. Second error is overgeneralization. So overgeneralization, nothing but in optimism test, optimism session, I have explained where pervasiveness, where one bad event happens in one area, but you consider that it's happening everywhere, like that. Suppose you have attended to one interview and you failed in that interview, and you started saying to yourself that I am a failure. You are failed in interview, not a failure. Okay, you are not a failure. But most of the time we use like that only. Okay, you did not perform very well in particular one, in suppose yesterday storytelling session was there and you did not give your story very well, then you started saying I am not good speaker. So generally you can say that yesterday I did not give my story in a better way, like that. You can be more specific. But what happens is most of the time people overgeneralize, even though one incident happens very badly in one point of time, but they consider themselves as a complete bad only. In every situation they feel like a lot of things are happening bad. So don't overgeneralize the things. Most of the time people try to overgeneralize the things, and then they will be getting a lot of problems in their life. Simple example, like suppose there was a one girl attended for one exam, and then she wrote the exam, and then she applied, she written answers for almost all the questions till 83 questions, and then she could not get the answer for 17 questions. And then she might be thinking that she will be failure. Okay, but when she got the answer, result, then she is the topper who got 83 marks, and whatever she answered, 83 questions were right. But the 17 questions she missed, and in her class everybody missed those questions, and but she became the topper. But when you are missing in one thing, you started treating yourself as a complete failure, but that's not the case. You are just be try to accurate, then you can eliminate a lot of your problems. So don't overgeneralize. And if you failed in one interview, you failed in that one interview only, but you are not failure. And you tried something, uh, but you missed it, then you missed only that aspect. And don't say unnecessarily that I'm unluckiest fellow and I don't have any luck in my life, like that. Don't use such things. That really leads to a very bad depression. Okay, so this is a second cognitive distortion or thinking error most of the people do. So try to be more specific, then you can eliminate a lot of your negative thinking. Okay, and third one is a mental filter. This is a very common error people do, that nowadays you can relate to this also, that so suppose in our not storytelling, I don't want to take our example. Generally, you have posted something in social media, and your photo or any one clip or video, and there your friend started commenting that you are looking so gorgeous and so great and all, like that. But there was a one person who commented little negative, that okay, not so good photo, like that. Then what exactly happens is there are 100 positive comments are there, but one negative comment which will immediately triggers very negative feeling in you, and you started concerning only about that one negative feeling. Means mental filter nothing but there are positive and negative things happens in your life, but you are mostly concerned and worried about only negative things. And this could be like a social media example, that you are concerned only about one negative thing which something happens generally, but you are completely eliminating all the positive things which are happen, and you are only focusing on the negative. that could also make you feel very bad, and that could put you in a depression. Initially you will feel very negative. Whenever negative thinking prolongs for weeks, suppose you started feeling negative today and very bad, and then tomorrow also you started feeling very bad and negative, and if it continued for next 3 4 weeks, then that will convert as a depression. Okay, you don't immediately get into the depression whenever any event happens. Depression is a slow process over the period of process. Once you started feeling negative today, and then that will, make you feel bad and sad and unhappy, then slowly you started losing interest, and all like that, it will happen for next 1 2 weeks, then slowly you'll get into the depression state. But you don't get immediately depression when somebody says negative to you. You feel negative at that time. You get negative thoughts and negative feelings and negative emotions. Thereafter you will slowly get into the depression. Okay, so mental filter is something where you will be completely focusing on the negative things, and then worrying about why negative things only happening in my life. But there are so many positive things also happening, but you are not paying enough attention to them. We are only paying attention to the negative things. If you are doing this kind of mistake, then make sure that, yeah, one negative could be negligible when there are 100 positive things are there. Okay, and then fourth one is disqualifying the positive. Very bad cognitive distortion in terms of why. Because when you are already feeling negative, there are sometimes could some positive things also happen. Simple, like on your birthday you wore very good dress, and you went to the school or college or your office, and there you started meeting your friends, and everybody started looking at you, and then some people came and said that, given compliment that you are looking so good today. Then you feel like, okay, they are trying to be very nice with them, and they are trying to praise me unnecessarily, and then you will just disqualify. That means you don't take it. You feel like, okay, I think they are trying to be just faking the comments, like that you will feel, and then you don't receive it. So the moment when you reject it, then that is called as a disqualifying the positive. There could be some people are genuinely with a good intention, they might be giving a compliment. But when you are negatively feeling, when you are in the depression state, this is the common mistake you do. When you are in a depression, you do this common mistake that even though there are some people who are ready to do something positive to you, but still you will not consider that positive things. Not about only comments. There are some positive events also happening in your life, but you feel like they are only happening on a random based or luck based. So in that case, if you are thinking like that, then definitely you will get into even more depression. And make sure that, think that generally there was a one story, besides, like there was a people who used to, they were doing some research. Okay, there are some people, they were doing some research. The research was about, they want to find some baser materials. Baser material is nothing but aluminum or iron or copper related. What they were trying to do experiment means, they want to find out a method to convert this aluminum, copper or iron as a gold. Okay, they want to use one method to convert the normal materials into the gold metal. And what exactly, this is how the alchemist people used to work on that, to convert the baser metals to gold. But here, when the person is in depression, opposite process. Gold is nothing but a positive comments. What they will do is, they will convert the positive comments into the negative comments. Okay, so that is the common error most of the depressed or negative thinkers will do. Whenever something positive also happening, they will convert that positive also into negative only. So opposite of alchemist people. Alchemist people will convert normal to the gold, but these people will convert the gold to the normal or negative. So that is what the disqualifying the positive. And be careful when you are thinking negatively, there could be some positive things also happens. Then appreciate the positive things, because when you are already negative, so much of negative is happening, and the positive should give you the hope. But when you are, what you are doing is, in that negative situation, you are converting the even small positive things also negative, means what happens, you will feel even more bad and sad. So that's why make sure you avoid this mistake to save yourself from the depression. Okay, and the fifth one is a very important, jumping into conclusions. This is the most of the people do, I do a lot of times. Okay, this is the common mistake which I do. So when it comes to jumping into conclusions, there are two types. One is a mind reader and the fortune teller. Okay, mind reader, nothing but, suppose I'm going on the road and I found one friend. Okay, I was just observing that one friend was there who was crossing besides me, and he did not, talked with me, he did not interact with me. He just went away without even asking any question to me. And I feel like maybe he's not interested in talking to me, and maybe he's having some grudge on me, and maybe he's not considering me as a friend. Like that, I started thinking about him. And here what I'm doing is, like, I'm reading the mind of what exactly his mind is. But the truth was, he was very busy in very serious problem which is happening something emergency case was there, and he was completely involved in his message, sorry, in mobile, and then he started ignored me, not intentionally, unintentionally ignored me, but I started treating that he ignoring me, and then I started feeling very bad about myself, that why he is not considering me as my friend like that. And suppose you texted to some people, and a lot of times people text to me, and I was busy with doing my own works, and what they will try to, they try to read my mind that okay, Rakesh sir is not reading my message, I think he is not considering me as his student like that. So without knowing the fact, when you are just jumping into the conclusion, then that would lead you to very disappointment. Sometimes you call to your friend and he don't pick up the call, then you immediately jump into the conclusion without any fact that maybe some accident happened or something, he died like that. But there would be no reason, there is no fact and proof for you, but you simply started visualizing and assuming it without any proofs and facts. And that is a mind reading, that you are reading opposite person mind without having the facts and proofs. And you called somebody and you texted somebody even though they are in online but they are not picking the call, then you will delete the message or you will feel very bad. This happens generally, it used to happen with me in the past 4 or 5 years back, but after that I am not doing this anymore, this mistake. But nowadays a lot of people do this mistake, that when I don't see their message, they delete their message by thinking that this person is not watching intentionally my message, but I might be busy with some other work. Okay. And fortune teller nothing but they will predict something very bad is going to happen in the future. They don't even know what exactly is going to happen. So simple, like if they are thinking that today they have interview, they will tell themselves like, okay, I think I am going to fail definitely in this interview like that. So even though there is no proof and fact that they will be selected or rejected, will come out after their performance, but before only they'll predict negative things, negative events in the future. So that is a fortune teller, like where you are trying to be a person who is predicting the future in a negative way only, not in a positive way. So that is a one more mistake which the people will do. Without any proofs and facts, they will try to predict the things in a negative way. That will put you in a very dangerous situation, and you feel very bad about you, and you will lose the interest in life also. So don't come to the conclusion unless until you have a very proofs and facts, and don't read the people mind without knowing the basic proofs and facts. And nowadays a lot of misunderstandings happening because of this mind reading and fortune telling only. Okay. Or especially jumping into conclusion. You might be seeing the world from your perspective, go other side and see the world through the other person perspective also, then you will understand the world in a better way. But you think that from your end you are right, and the other person also thinking the same way, that he is also right from his end. So who is right then? You have to go, and he has to come in your place, and you have to go in his place and see the world through their lenses or through their shoes. Then you will understand the world in a better way, then you can avoid a lot of mistakes. What exactly happens when we are seeing our perspective and when they are seeing other perspective, collision happens. Okay. The conflicts happens, and with that you will get into the quarrels and negative unnecessary things, consequences. So make sure, don't jump into the conclusion without having proofs and facts. And somebody may not respond to you quickly, and somebody may not return you the call, and sometimes don't predict something bad happened or something like that. So know the facts and proofs. Then this is the most of the depressed people do this kind of, lot of negative thinking. When they are going through negative thinking, they will think everything is negative only. Okay. This is the fifth mistake. And the sixth mistake is magnification or minimization. So magnification, nothing but catastrophizing, means making the things out of proportion. Means suppose one small thing happened, like a very simple, like one example could be one person, one smart young man wanted to propose one girl, and he went and then he proposed her, and she rejected on that day. Okay, she rejected, and then this person started saying to himself that okay, I think I'm not at all good, and everybody is going to reject me, and everybody don't like me like that. He started thinking, even though one girl rejected, and he started magnifying that every girl is going to reject him. Obviously every girl has her own taste, and she may be not liking you something which she want, maybe some other people may like you, right? So but unfortunately what happens is, you make small things as a bigger things. Suppose what exactly other example could be, you lost your job because of recession or something. Okay. And what people will feel like, okay, losing the job is like losing the job itself, and they started feeling so much negative that I think my life will end, and how can I survive in this society, what people will think about me, I think it's better to end my life like that, they will think. So small things, when you're magnifying very big things, will put into a very dangerous situation, and it will definitely keep you in a very bad, positions. So magnification, nothing but don't expand the things. If it is 1% bad, only 1% only. Don't make 1% into 100% big things. So like that, one is a magnification and one is a negative. Second thing is a minimization. Minimization, nothing but you are trying to make them very small. Like you are, especially with the skills, you are having very good strengths and positive things about you, but you are converting those strengths and positive things into smaller things. Okay, suppose you are a very good dancer and you are thinking, okay, dancing is not that much big thing, and I think it's a very normal thing. Like that, you started making, even though dance is a very good skill, but still you are making it a very small and normal. And you might be speaking in English very good, but you are thinking that, okay, I am not speaking that much good. I think other person is speaking very better than me, and I think my English is not so good. Like that, you are, your own strengths, you are converting them into smaller things and minimizing them. So it's like a, using the binocular, and if you see it from other end, you will see the things out of proportion, even though it's a just 5x, but you will see in a 100x. But if you see other side, even if it is 100x, you will see in a 5x. So most of the time, when it comes to people, magnification, they do negatives very big and positives very small. So you are doing opposite. Okay, you are doing opposite. And obviously, when you are making negatives very big, means your life completely filled with only negative only. And again, there are some good things also there and positive things also there. Again, what you are doing, you are not making them normal, you are making them smaller, and that even more make the situations worst. So be careful with this magnification and minimization, and identify whenever you are doing any mistake in your life, when you are thinking negative, then identify which category that thinking belongs to, either all or nothing thinking, or overgeneralization and other things, what a mental filter, disqualifying the positive. Okay, so jumping into the conclusions are magnification or minimization. So these are the six. Hope you are understanding with the examples. Okay. Seventh one is emotional reasoning, and this is the one of the very important, very bad cognitive distortion which a lot of people do. The moment when you wake up, you feel like you are not energetic. Okay, you are feeling very lousy or drowsy. And what exactly happens is, when you take your emotions for a fact, there are sometimes emotions completely come out of baseless emotions will come. You are feeling very drowsy, and you said, okay, I'm feeling drowsy, then I must be less energetic. Okay, and I'm feeling sleepy, I must be today feeling sick. So there is no proof at all, but generally emotions can be easily changed by changing the thoughts. But what you are doing is, you are taking your emotions are very strong, and then you are changing your thoughts into the negative way. Initially you are emotionally feeling like little bit less energetic, and what you are saying, okay, I'm feeling less energetic, then I must be sick. The moment when you feel like you are sick, and then automatically your mind will tell you, okay, I think you don't go to work today, don't wake up early morning, and don't join 5 a.m club today morning class. Like that, you'll be saying all these things to yourself, and then that will put and make your matters even more worse. Okay, there are a lot of times emotions play with you, and how you can change your emotion by taking the action something against to it. Suppose whenever I feel like very sick, generally I always say that I'm very healthy, but there are sometimes I may feel like I'm sick. Then what I do, immediately I get out of the bed and I do something workouts, or I go out for walk, and then automatically my emotion and feelings will change. And there I feel like, okay, where was my sickness and fever and all, everything will eliminate it. So sometimes you feel headache, and then you will feel like, okay, I'm feeling headache, mean I may get fever also. Like that, small emotions and feelings which you go through, you will give the reasons to it, and the reasons will manifest as a reality. And so most of the time your emotions could be false emotions you go through, and if you take the action against to it, then emotions will be disappeared, the negative emotions will be disappeared. But when you are unnecessarily giving the reasons to your emotions, then the emotions will manifest as a real, and then you have to go through that problem. So this is the one thing, the seventh thing. Okay, emotional reasoning. And then eighth one, very important, this creates a guilt in you. Okay, and anger and frustration. So avoid using a should and must statements, and especially the people who are thinking negatively, it's a very important that you should not use should and must statements. I will tell you why. Because suppose if I am using should statement, I should wake up at 5 o'clock, but generally I wake up at 8 o'clock, and I said to myself, I should tomorrow onwards I should wake up at 5 o'clock. If I fail to wake up at 5 o'clock, what I feel, I feel guilty, right? I feel very bad about myself. And already you are in a depression mode and you are thinking negatively, then again you are feeling guilt about you and you are feeling very bad about you, then it will increase your level of depression even more. So that's the reason, make sure don't use the should statements when it comes to your own self. And again, other thing also, so suppose I'm saying that everybody should respect me. If they are not respecting me, what I feel, I feel angry and I feel frustrated and disappointed, right? So make sure don't use should statements to yourself and don't use should statements to others. Should and must, both statements. Why? Because should is something very high standards you are keeping to yourself. Every time when you are failing, suppose you kept to yourself that I should read every day 1 hour, and you read 45 minutes, and you did not meet your standards which you kept for yourself. What you feel? You feel very bad. But even though you have done 45 minutes of work, 45 minutes of activity, but still you feel very short in your own eyes because you did not meet your standards. So make sure should statements should be used wisely, and it should not be used because I should wake up at 5 o'clock at tomorrow. Instead of that, always use want. I want to wake up at 5 o'clock. Wanting is a positive feeling. Okay, should and have to is a negative feeling. So negative words. Make sure I want to wake up early. That's a positive feeling which you wanted to do with your out of your love. Should is a compulsion. Compulsion, nothing but force, external force you are keeping on yourself to do something. But want is the compassion. Compassion is nothing but love. You are doing out of your love. And that really gives a positive emotion. And I want to read book tomorrow morning for 1 hour. And you read for 45 minutes, but still you feel very good about yourself because you are not putting a pressure on you. Instead, you are just keeping yourself to do that thing out of your love. That always gives you positive feeling. But when you are always keeping should statements like everybody should attend to the class today, suppose every 100 people are there, 100 people should attend the class, means if 100 people don't attend, then I might be feeling disappointed and frustrated and get angry, right? But instead I want everybody to join. If they don't join, it's okay, some people already joined and let me teach to them only, like that I feel. So this is a basic example, but make sure whenever you are using I should get first rank, instead I want to get a first rank. So should and must statements create unnecessary pressure on you. When you are expecting something out of you by using should and must, then you feel disappointed and guilt. When you are expecting from others should and must, then you feel anger and frustrated and disappointed. So make sure to avoid these negative emotions, don't use should and must statements about you or about somebody else. Okay, this is one more mistake cognitive distortion people do. And very important, labeling. And this is the worst thing nowadays people are doing in terms of social media. Every time whenever they see any post and then there is a they see tag that somebody who is a very foodie, okay, tag somebody who is sleepy, tag somebody who is not interested in education, and tag somebody who is addicted to mobile, tag somebody who lost interest in life, and tag some like that. You will see these things, right? So labeling is nothing but giving some name to you like a loser, failure, and not good communicator. These are all the labels, names which you give to yourself. And what exactly happens is when you give labels, people will live up to that label only. They will not grow out of the label. Suppose I am started saying somebody as a sleepy, then he will always treat himself as a sleepy only. And every time, even though he want to be energetic, but still he will treat himself as a sleepy, and he continue to lead his life like that only. And when you say somebody is a dumb, okay, he's a very dumb, he's not intelligent, then they always think that okay, they are not intelligent like that. And you don't give label to your own self first, and don't take any negative labels from others also, very important. Nowadays always people wanted to keep you down, and that's why I've seen a lot of times in social media, always they tag their friends for negative things, they don't tag for good things. Remember this. Suppose you are doing very great in your life and they don't tag you under that good things, they'll always tag you on a negative things and bad things only because they don't want you to grow in your life. And what exactly happens with the labeling is you live your life with that label only. Suppose when you say to somebody you are a drinker, and then he continue to be a drinker only, and he will not change out of that label. So like that, just make sure people unnecessarily give label to themselves. I'm not good communicator, enough. Your communication journey will end there only. Okay. Negative labels, don't accept negative labels from anybody, and don't give negative labels to your own self. Try to be very specific. I failed in this exam. You failed in that exam, it's a event. But instead a lot of people they say that I'm a failure. That's a label. That's a label. And if you are not getting interest to read on that day, and if you say that I don't like reading, I'm not a good reader, that's a label. So don't give labels to yourself. When you give labels to yourself, your subconscious mind feed that label and will always program your mind in that way only. So be careful with the labeling. And this is the most of the people are doing nowadays, knowingly or unknowingly, very bad mistake in terms of social media platforms and all. And never ever accept. Now You can get the positive labels by doing the positive work. A lot of people now tell me that you are a good communicator and you are a very good reader and you are a good human being. Like that, they will tell you are a good disciplined person, consistent person. So when we get a positive labels, we live up to that labels. We live up to our labels. Now, a lot of people say that you are very punctual, Rakesh. Then at the time, what I feel like, okay, I should maintain my punctuality at any cost. Like that, I always make myself to maintain my labels in a positive way. But when somebody started saying that you are not a punctual person and all, then they also live their life up to their negative labels. So make sure don't accept negative labels from anybody. Don't take labels to your own self. That's a very important. Avoid this mistake. A lot of people do this mistake. Okay. And last and final cognitive distortion is personalization. Personalization, I've already explained in that optimism presentation also. Taking the responsibility of something which you don't have any control over it. Okay, suppose somebody is not listening to the presentation. Okay, now he's not giving his attention. If I feel like I think I'm not good speaker, I'm not giving good presentation, that's why he's not listening to me. If I take that, then I feel very bad about me. Okay, I think I'm not good speaker, and I think my presentation is not interesting like that. Why are you taking? Because you don't know the reason. There are 60 members are there now in the meeting. Out of 60, 50 people are listening actively and very attentively. There are 5 6 people are there who are maybe something, they might be watching IPL in the background, or they might be doing something else in the back end, or maybe they are doing some multitasking. There could be any reasons. If I take their inability to do something as my reason, like my cause or my responsibility, then unnecessarily I get very bad. I feel very bad about myself. And this also happens generally, like some people will join in the class and they leave in within 2 days only. And at the time, sometimes I take personally, like, okay, why they are leaving? Maybe I'm not teaching well, like that. But out of 10 people, 8 people are sticking to the classes and joining daily. 2 people are not joining. So if I started taking everybody as my responsibility, even though I don't know the reason behind why they left, maybe they want something else, maybe they have some health issues, maybe they have some personal commitments. Without knowing the reason, if I started taking the things as my responsibility, then I may feel bad. And that kind of taking the responsibility whenever it is not needed will put you in a negative situation and will put you in a negative thinking. So be careful with this personalization, especially. And it happens with the mothers and teachers, especially the trainers and different people. When somebody is not performing up to the mark, then we think that we are the reason for it. But sometimes you may not be the reason. They themselves could be the reason. Okay. But you started taking somebody else behavior as your responsibility. Obviously you can influence the person, but you cannot control the person. Okay. You can influence the person by using the words and you can change him, but you cannot control. The control always in a person hand only, in that person hand only. And for that, if you take the responsibility and then you started worrying about the things and all, then that would put you in a negative situation. So these are the 10 cognitive distortions, means thinking errors, which we do in our life in a different situations. And as it goes to the extreme level of, okay, as you see started thinking this all the negative things in extreme level, for everything you started thinking in this negative way, then your life will be completely messed up and you will think negatively. And the more you think negatively for extended period of time, chronicle negative thinking means thinking for more than 1 week, 2 days, 2 weeks in a negative way, thinking very badly, then that puts you in a depression. Slowly you will get into the depression. And once you get into the depression, your life will be completely collapsed and you don't get an interest in doing anything. You lose the motivation. I think I've read all the questions, right? You will get all the symptoms in your life and then you want to end your life. So every time whenever any thought comes, then check what is the proof, what is the fact, is it really true, why I'm thinking in this way. And negative thinking, as I said in last my previous presentation also, negative thinking is a automatic thinking which we get automatically without our efforts. Also negative thinking is a by default thinking, but to think positively you should put efforts. So for every one negative thinking you can write, we call it as a thought journal. Suppose you are feeling very bad about yourself, you write down why you are feeling bad about that situation. Okay, what exactly the situation happened, and then try to check the fact and proofs. Why is it true thinking? There is the proof. Is there any proof behind your thinking? And then check out if you can write some reasons. Okay, there is a proof, then you can feel bad or sad. But if there is no proof and fact, then why are you feeling very bad and sad by spoiling your mind and mood and the state of mind? So these are the 10 thinking errors which are fundamental reasons for a person to think negative. And if you continue to think negatively for next few days or weeks, then you'll get into the depression. And once you get into the depression, your health will be spoiled and everything will be spoiled in your life. And there you feel like, why are you living your life like that? And then you want to end your life. So make sure that you always save yourself by thinking in appropriate way. And if you have this concept in your mind, then you can save your life. And there are other people around us also do these thinking errors, and now you can identify them. I think he's doing personalization. Okay, he's doing the thinking error called personalization. I think he's jumping into conclusions. Okay, he's doing the error called jumping into the conclusions, and is overgeneralizing the things, is labeling. Like that, every time you can identify when somebody is thinking negatively, and you can identify yourself also when you are thinking negatively, so that you can save your life, and you can protect your life from the difficult situations. So these are the errors, 10 cognitive distortions. Most of the people do, but extremity is different. Okay, either some people will do normal level, some people will do highest level. And if you are doing these things at a highest level, then you will go through so many problems. And especially make sure when it comes to English communication skills, avoid these errors. Avoid these errors. And sometimes people may like, sometimes people may not like. And if you started taking everything into consideration, and I will tell you a few examples which could be related to you, and you posted in a one message in a group and nobody responded. And one day one person not responded. It happened yesterday. Some 9 p.m. batch people are complaining. One person not responded, and you started thinking nobody is responding. No, on that day, people might be busy at that particular time. That's why they did not respond to your message. And you started saying that I think nobody likes to talk to me. I think I am not good speaker. Why are you thinking all these negative things? Maybe they might be busy. They did not see your message, or something might have been there. The reason, without knowing the fact and proof, you started saying to yourself that nobody is interested in talking with me, and I think I'm not good speaker. These things and all, you have seen the cognitive distortions, right? What happens when you feel like I think no one is interested to speak? You feel very bad about yourself, and you don't want to talk to anybody. And even if somebody wanted to talk, also you are not interested to talk to them. Simple. These are the mistakes you do, and then unnecessarily you suffer in your life. Not just English. I'm just taking the example, basic example, and you did very well, but nobody praised and all. But everybody praised, and one person said, I think you could have spoken even better way, and you ignored all the people positive comments, and you are only worried about that person. That's a mental filter. Okay, and even though somebody praised you, but you are thinking that I think I have not done good, then this person only wantedly saying good things like that. And what you are doing, you are disqualifying the positive comments, means you are rejecting the positive things. Like that, there are so many things would be there, and unnecessarily people will give negative labels. I think you are not good speaker. Don't take them. Don't take these things, even knowingly or unknowingly. People don't know the psychological aspects in the back end. They'll just simply use their words without knowing the consequence of their words, and it could hurt somebody, it could end somebody's life also. So be mindful of what words you are using to your own self, internal communication, at the same time external communication skills, very important. And avoid these thinking errors, then your life would be much much better. And we think everybody think this, but how quickly you are responding to the negative thinking will decide how quickly you can come back or bounce back from the negative situations. So identify these things every time whenever you go through any problem in your life. It could be job related, it could be communication skills related, it could be personal relationship related, financial related, health related. We are all making these mistakes. And the moment when I got to know about this knowledge, I started applying this knowledge in most of my areas of my life. And that's why I don't stay in any sad mood for a long time. I can easily bounce back and come back to the positivity. Why? Because I apply these all the techniques. But now I've only shared the cognitive distortions, the thinking errors which you are doing. But how you can correct your thinking? There is a therapy called cognitive behavioral therapy. I will be teaching you the techniques, how well you can use this cognitive behavioral therapy to save yourself from cognitive distortions or depression. Not only depression, any mental health issues, you can save yourself with the therapy which I am going to give in the future classes. And there I'll be addressing so many mental health issues, how well you can save your life. And as I said, English is 80% mindset and 20% English. And this is something which I learned from my mentor Sandeep sir, that, and he told that Rakesh, English is all about mindset. If you have a right mindset, then you can ace this world with communication skills. And at that time I did not believe, but as I started working on my communication skills, I found out that yes, it's true. Communication is all about mindset, and mindset is nothing but your mental health only. How good your mental health is, that much you can become a good communicator. But unfortunately, if you are started doing all this mistake what I mentioned, then how can you become a good communicator? You will not. Every time you will get demotivated and discouraged and disappointed, then you don't even attempt to speak also. And the first mistake, as I said, everybody do that. Either they want to speak perfect English, either they don't want to speak any single sentence also. And what they do, I will speak only when I became perfect. How can you speak perfect English without practicing daily? Very common mistake which people do. And nowadays a lot of people also, when new people wanted to join in the class, they ask me, sir, I want to speak perfect English, and how many days it will take? I'll say it will take years. In this lifetime also you can't speak perfect English, because every day you can improve. But how can you say that you are perfect? Because English is a ocean, and you can't say that now I'm completely excelled in English. You can't reach to the excel level, because ocean, English is a ocean, and you can't say that I know every word and every sentence. How much, still there is something else left over for you to know and learn. And that's why you always say that I want to be a good communicator. That's a perfect one. You can say that, that's a good sentence you can use. But I want to speak perfect English. Out of 10 messages which I get in Instagram, 8 messages will which contains perfect word. And I always get a laugh the moment when I see the perfect word, because people don't even know that what mistake and what they're expecting out of it. And when you are chasing the perfectionism, you don't reach to that level, and every time you get disappointed. Instead, I want to become a good communicator. For that, I'm ready to do the hard work. Do that, and then slowly today maybe you will only speak one sentence in English. Compared to zero, one is better. And today one sentence, tomorrow two sentences, today 1 minute, tomorrow 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Like that you will excel day, one day at a time, one day at a time. But you are thinking that, no, I want to speak perfect English from day one. How it is possible? You should struggle, you should go through the pain, and you should get the embarrassment, you should take the guilt and feeling shy and all. Then only you reach to that level of communication. But people don't want to go through any of those pains. They just wanted the baby, okay, without any delivery or labor pains. How it happens? It will not happen. Okay, maybe people think that, okay, we can avoid the labor pains by having the surgery and all, but that also one pain which will come in the future. Nothing comes without pain. You have to you have to go through the pain. If you avoid the pain now, then you will experience the pain in the future in a different consequences. But make sure, when it comes to English communication skills, it's a lifelong process. There is no shortcut for it. If you choose to select the shortcuts, then definitely, how much strongly you reach to the top level, that much strongly you will fall down. That much within a less time you will fall down. So if it is taking time, means give the time. If you are not ready to give the time, you are not eligible to improve your communication skills. As I said, communication skills are the most important skills in nowadays. And if it is coming that much easily, means there will be no value to the communication skills. You have to put your efforts, and you have to struggle. You have to put your efforts and continue to maintain the consistency. And today Saturday, a lot of people are enjoying their life, but still you are putting your efforts to improve your communication skills. This level of efforts are needed to work on, to get what you want in your life. But if you expect that, okay, I joined in English therapy without putting any hard work and efforts, I want communication skills, means nobody will give. Hello, sit straight. Why are you sleeping? You only. Hmm. Sit properly. Okay, fine then. Thank you. Thanks for sitting straight.
Well, my leg was injured, so I sit
I'm
like
not
that.
talking to you. I said to other person. Okay. Yeah. It's like you, there are at least 15, 20 people thought that I am talking to them only. So that's what the magic of these words. Okay. Yeah. Like you only, there are some people also thought that I'm telling to them only, but they don't even know that who are all visible on my screen. Now I can see only 25 faces only. But even though there are 68 members out there, and they also felt like I am talking to them only. So that's a magic. Okay. So that's a fear I can create in the people's mind and hearts. Okay. That's it from my end. I hope you learned something valuable from this session.